Stephen King, your favorite novelist and master of modern horror, has written his first motion picture screenplay. It combines all the elements of his creative imagination.
This loose cannon needs to be locked down before innocent people start getting hurt.
He's been asleep for 5,000 years.
You find us a cell that can hold him, we'll take care of the rest.
Who's on the team?
Do you think the realm will ever accept me as their queen?
A woman would not inherit the Iron Throne, because that is the order of things.
When I'm queen, I will create a new order.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
This guy's really kind of doing it for me. Big energy.
Hello and welcome to an Organized Chaos podcast, the very best podcast in all of human existence. Well done. Congratulations on your podcasting choice. I cannot commend you enough. Joining me on this most excellent podcast is, of course, Bobby Quarters and our common guest, George. How you guys doing?
Doing well. Doing well.
Good. Well, I mean, we got some exciting stuff to talk about. We have... we don't really have... The first thing we're going to talk about isn't very Halloween-y at all. We're going to talk about the Stephen King story called Cat's Eye, but yeah, it's not really gorgeous at all.
Yeah, it's James Woods' most understated performance.
It is. I believe it's in canon with the Air Bud movies.
It is in canon with the Airplane movies.
Oh, Airplane, that too, yes.
Yeah.
This is after.
Air Bud, Airplane, similar movies, right?
But after that, we will get to some Halloween-themed stuff, because we will be talking about Black Adam and the season finale, well, the last 4 episodes of House of the Dragon. So that will be very Halloween-y, very
not
pumpkin,
3.
yes. Yeah. But anything you guys want to say before we go ahead and head into news?
No.
All right. So the first news story about Lauren Boebert. Let me dig this up. Lauren Boebert, a fine, respectable individual.
What did old Shooter McGill do this time? Or say, rather.
Oh, Lauren Boebert denies claim that she shot and killed neighbor's dog. Oh God! Just knowing her, she probably did. Like for most people, I'd be like, "Yeah, no, that they're, it's he said, she said." But with her at this point, it's like, "Yeah, she did it."
I wonder if these are the same neighbors who have complained about her husband being drunk and irrational and yelling at them a lot.
Probably. Oh my God! This whole thing's just become an ad.
Yeah. That.
There we go.
It's like people
all right.
do things because they get paid.
Yeah, it's weird. All right, so according to this, on August 17th, 2022, you took my best friend away from me with the power of your gun. That's what the neighbor is saying. Wow, that wasn't that long ago, too. Jesus Christ. Miss Mendoza accused the Congresswoman of killing Omega because she had entered Miss Boebert's property and hurt the goats. They're adding that her dog was not violent, but had hunting instincts like any other canine. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say other than I dislike Lauren Boebert.
Yeah, I don't really have much.
Well,
to
I
say
mean,
about her.
it sounds I mean, reading the first bit, it sounded like she was saying she didn't do it, and then she was saying, "Oh, they are harassing her goats," so she did do it. Yeah. And the next news story up, another lovely individual, Ted Cruz. Ted Cruz.
Oh, you mean the thing how he reimbursed himself to something to the tune of $555,000.
Yes. After successfully challenging a political spending law at Supreme Court. Oh, I can't go very far into this. It is paywalled.
Oh, I got you.
Bah!
Well, for me too.
Yeah, fun guys. News guys. You can't paywall all this stuff, guys. You know, crazy right-wing sites don't paywall their shit. That's a problem.
Saying something.
Yeah. But anyways, going off into entertainment news, Harrison Ford officially joins the Marvel Universe. He will be replacing William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross. And here's an actual little discussion point, because I know lots of people brought up to me. They're like, hey, how come they're recasting William Hurt but not Chadwick Boseman? I know I don't have strong thoughts how they want to handle their stories, but do you guys have any thoughts on it?
Why on earth would they recast T'Challa? Like, why would they recast Chadwick Boseman?
Well,
I don't see the relevant. I'm missing the connection. Did people get this up in arms when Terrence Howard was recast by Don Cheadle? I mean, I think Terrence Howard is a terrible actor, so I think that's a good call in my book.
Oh well, Don Cheadle was an absolute upgrade.
Oh yeah,
like
no
question,
definite upgrade.
Yeah,
but, I mean, just Howard is just so flat in everything. I can't. It's a chore.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, no, I don't get this argument because it's all about how they want to tell the story. Obviously, like I was assuming when William Hurt died, they'd probably be done with Thunderbolt Ross. But it seems like they're bringing him back. They're probably going to do a Red Hulk storyline with him. So he might have a fairly substantial role in the MCU going forward.
Wait, William Hurt died?
Yeah. He died a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think we might have talked about it on here, actually.
We might have.
Yeah. Yeah, his last appearance in the MCU will officially be Black Widow, although his last canonical appearance will be Endgame.
He totally died earlier this year. Yeah. I must have just... Wow.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it all depends on the stories they want to tell. Because with the Black Panther, even in the comic book, has been a mantle, and established in the movie, has been a mantle that can pass on to other people. Whereas Red Hulk is not like a huge character, and I believe it's pretty much just been Thunderbolt Ross just messing around with the Hulk serum, pretty much. So yeah, I mean, they want to tell more stories with him. Cool, as long as they do a good job. That's all I'm asking. And
yeah. Okay, well, I guess I could see the connection now, but still, though, it's a bit different. Like you said, the mantle, Black Panther is more of a mantle.
Yeah, and
that can be passed,
and
just like Batman.
I mean, so much of the first movie was about how it was a mantle. Killmonger took over the role for a while, and that was part of the issue in that movie.
Yeah.
And Thunderbolt Ross isn't a mantle; it's a dude.
Yeah, well, and if they wanted to, like, do more with the character, obviously, and they had more planned, but they couldn't do it because of Hurt's passing, then I'd trust that the company, I would trust that they know what they're doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, they've been able to deter most of the naysayers. Well, I mean, there's still naysayers no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd think at least for, at least, I guess, true comic fans would just be very happy that, their stories being told.
Mm-hmm.
Stories that they're at least familiar with, but stories that are material that they would want to see on the big screen.
Yeah. And
they just have their expectations held too high, and they can never match what their expectations.
Well, I would definitely say, like, I won't call Harrison Ford an upgrade from William Hurt, but he's definitely, like, on the same level acting wise. So I mean, I'm happy with that. Okay. Next news story: Kevin Spacey was acquitted. I still think he did it.
I still think he's guilty.
I think he's very guilty. I think it's obviously the details of the trial aren't very out there, and they probably never will be out there. But I really suspect it's a thing where it's like some sort of legal red tape. It's been a long time since, I believe this is the Anthony Rapp allegations. It's been a long time since those allegations happened, reportedly. And rape does have a, what's the term? It expires after a while, which is an issue. I actually think rape and murder are the two most serious charges and shouldn't, like, expire. It shouldn't be like, oh, you raped somebody 25 years ago, so, you know, you're scot-free now.
There shouldn't be any limitations.
Statute of limitations, yes.
Yeah, there should be no limitations on those crimes.
Yeah, those two, like, you want to put a limitation on something like stealing? I gotcha. But, like, rape and murder, no. Those are things that are outrageously wrong and just should not be forgiven. But, Kevin Spacey's acquitted, probably on some stupid, I don't know, but I still think maybe he's innocent, but I still think he's probably a monster. And then the last piece of news that just came in earlier today, character actor Leslie Jordan has passed. I mean, wow. This guy's been in so much stuff.
Yeah,
right?
It's hard to start tracking it from where you could think of anything, because he's literally been in almost everything.
Yeah, like almost every single TV series in the past, like, 30 years, he's probably had, like, one role on an episode. Just all over the place. His voice is very recognizable. Yeah, if you're watching the podcast, you'll see a picture of him. But, if you don't know who you're talking about, just Google Leslie Jordan. You'll see pictures of him. He is a very famous guy. You'll be like, oh, it's that guy. Very prolific. We don't know a whole lot of details about his death, other than that he was driving, and then he was in an accident and he died, and we're not sure of the full details.
The report I had read, it said that he had experienced some sort of health, something related, some major health incident or something that just caused his body to swerve off into the side of a building in Los Angeles earlier.
So it's possible he had, like, a heart attack or a stroke or something like that while driving.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's not good. Are we ready to go into actual movies?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, starting out with not horror-themed Halloween stuff, Stephen King's Cat's Eye. Stephen King always does these lighthearted romps. You know that? No, this was actually a fun movie. I enjoyed this quite a bit. It's if you don't know, it's the summarize movie. It's 3 mini stories told from the perspective of a cat, essentially. And I will say, I'm kind of impressed how well they were able to coach the cat to make it feel like it was in the story. Because I have cats. It'd be a pain in the ass to get them to act how I want them to in a movie.
I imagine. I mean, I was doing a little bit of reading of behind the scenes of this because I was curious about that and a lot of other stuff with, like, how they did it. I imagine, like, with the cats, they had to have done treats, and because that's typically how I understand they'll do it. But when I was doing the reading, I found out, okay, yeah, they did lure treats. So they had several different cats and different, like, stand-in Cujo dogs.
I assume there's at least 2 because there's times where it looked different.
Yeah, well, one of the dogs that was used for the dog chasing it that kind of looked like Cujo, when there was, like, the heavy hand-fisted Stephen King reference, right?
Yeah.
Like 3 in 1.
Like, just
3 references.
Right out of the gate. Just kind of getting, okay, we get it, movie.
Yes, your Stephen King short stories. We got you.
I got it. I mean, I still loved it. It was camp, and I just loved it. But one of those dogs was also a dog that was used on the filming of Cujo, and that dog so technically was Cujo.
Ooh.
Wow.
I did not know that
they had used... Yeah, they used several different cats because what would happen, you get one cat to do it, and then the cat would get full. It's not going to do it again.
Yeah.
So there are different cats in the movie?
Yeah. There are several different cats, I believe, like 2 or 3.
It looked like there's at least 2, yeah.
Yeah.
There's little differences, but yeah. Yeah, there was a time where I was like, that cat looks different. And I was like, I think it's supposed to be the same cat because the overall design is the same.
Yeah, like the stripe pattern is the same type of breed, but just different stripe pattern.
Like, I think there's one with, like, white feet and then one with, like, darker feet. And that's the big giveaway, yeah.
I mean, cat owners would recognize it instantly.
George, this is your pick. What are your thoughts?
So, I know a little bit about this movie. It's the 3 segments. The first 2 are from the collection called Night Shift, and then the 3rd segment with the troll was new for the movie.
I didn't know that. Okay.
I'll argue that the 3rd segment's probably the best part of the movie.
It is kind of the one that brings it all together.
Visually, yeah. Visually, yeah.
Yeah, they do lots of great.
I'll get into that when we start talking about the third half. I'll get into why I feel visually it's.
Well, I think it's probably best to just go over it like a story at a time. But yeah.
Let's just go through them. So the first one is Quitters Incorporated.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, I watched this movie quite a bit as a kid, and I only really remembered the third part just because of how scary it was to me as a kid. Yeah. But I didn't see the rest of it until I bought the DVD when it first came out. So yeah, Quitters Incorporated has that's the one with James Woods, right?
Yes, it's James Woods as the husband, and then he's got a wife and a daughter, and he just wants to quit smoking.
Yeah. It's a kind of a, Big Brother suspense kind of thing. He's trying to quit smoking, but part of the deal is he's being watched at any time of the day or night. So he always has the sense that he's being stalked or followed. And he kind of questions his own sanity a little bit. It's like, oh, is this just a hoax? Or they can't really be, they did creepy stuff like, someone appearing to have hidden in the closet in his house. And
those wet galoshes in the closet that are gone the next day with footprints. Like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then he's like, oh, I'm in rush hour traffic. It's bumper to bumper. And I'm on an overpass. There's no way they can see me. And then he takes a,
drag, and it's the guy in the car next to him.
And then, so...
To firmly establish how Quitters Incorporate works, he goes to the office, and they say, okay, here's the deal. We're going to help you quit. If we catch you we're going to keep an eye on you. If you catch you smoking once, we're going... Well, first they show the cat in this, electric booth, and it's dancing around, and they're being awful.
Which is kind of disturbing.
Yeah. But then they're like, if we catch you smoking once, we're going to put your wife in this booth. Catch you smoking twice? Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I did read that they weren't actually shocking the cat at all. They were just
I hope not,
bursts of air. It was just a little burst of air, which kind of makes it a little funnier.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little funnier.
It would be easier to make a cat jump around with that, too.
You just piss that cat off.
Yeah.
How many takes did that take?
You guys noticed, too, that every segment, I think, had a version of Every Breath You Take? I think it's a cover.
I don't think the second one did.
The original.
It was because
it's not a cover. It is a cover, yes.
It is. It is a cover, but it is because it was cheaper than securing the actual rights because they filmed it in sequence to the song already before they secured the rights to it.
Yeah,
and Staden wouldn't budge for it, so they just paid somebody to cover it because that's cheaper, I guess.
Oh, I mean, it would be cheaper overall. But you might be right, Bobby. I don't know for sure if it was in the second part or not.
Yeah, I don't think it was. It was definitely in. It was definitely in the first and third. Definitely,
it might have been if it was in the second,
it would have to be the casino at the beginning. Yeah,
maybe playing or the casino.
Yeah,
because I know it was set to it. Like the whole film is set to it.
Yeah,
but it was fitting for the first.
Yeah,
because it was.
Every breath you take,
I'm watching you.
Yeah. And especially breath and smoking, But anyways, so if they, I was just gonna explain this. Oh my God, we're not gonna say anything. So Quitters Incorporate, they catch you smoking once, wife gets put into this electric booth and gets shocked around. Catch you smoking twice, his daughter's getting put in the electric booth and getting shocked around. And catch him smoking 3 times, they're gonna rape his wife, and I think he watches, or do they just rape her? And then the 4th time, they just shoot him.
Yeah, I think it was implied.
Yeah.
They didn't show it, but it was
implied. Yeah. So this is hardcore. You better quit if you're signing up for this service.
They're serious about you quitting.
Yes, they are not gonna fuck around with that shit. But yeah, it's a kind of fun story, kind of an interesting look at like quitting cold turkey, because that shit is rough. Quitters Incorporated definitely takes it to an extreme, but it is rough. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like the movie, it really talked overall about like, different fears that are out there and are represented, like that people have.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one, like Quitters is like, the fear of addiction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, it's a fun segment. James Wood is at his most subtle. Definitely no chewing the scenery for him in this at all. He just plays it very neutral. As he does. But yeah, no, I enjoyed this one. Are we ready to move on to the sequel to Airplane?
Part of it?
The
The Ledge.
Yeah.
Which I think this one's obviously about heights.
What? No. Yeah, that's how it relates to Airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
So Robert Hayes.
Not drinking problems.
We don't even see Robert Hayes in the beginning. It begins with like you see the rich guy who's later becomes key, and he's talking to this guy who seems like a dick, and they see the cat, and they're like
rich.
Yeah, they're both assholes. And the first rich guy, the older rich guy, I guess we'll say, says, "I bet you $2,000 that cat makes it across the street." And the other guy says, "I bet you it won't." And then the one guy immediately starts encouraging the cat to cross the street when it's busy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wow, what piece of shit. What piece of shit.
They're pretty fucking terrible.
But fuck you.
And it kind of gives you this false sense of, oh, maybe the older rich guy's okay. No.
Yeah. Well, especially when you see him pick it up and go, yeah, but I laughed at that being a cat owner. That cat wanted no part of being picked up.
No, yeah.
At all.
But
it's like, man, that's probably the best take they got. The cat just not like, no.
So Robert Hayes had, if I'm remembering correctly, had a kind of a fling with the wife, the rich guy's wife.
They were dating. Yeah, they were.
Yes. And so I think he's just more than a rich guy. I think he's a gangster.
Yeah, he's almost certainly doing illegal activities, mildly questionable stuff.
So he makes the deal with them. Remind me, because you guys have a more recent watch. It was something about planting drugs in the car, and then it led to...
he was planting like a bunch of heroin in his car because he's like a disgraced tennis player or something like that.
Yeah. And then that leads to the deal that if you make it around the ledge of the building without falling off, that he will he will withdraw the drug
and essentially let him run away with his wife. Yeah. You guys can have your happiness, but you essentially this 5-inch ledge that goes across the whole building. He has to walk across it, and they're probably supposed to be at least 10 stories up, maybe 20.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but I know that they built that, like the set, it was in the sound stage.
Oh, yeah.
And, and it was like maybe 12 feet off the ground, and everything else was like miniatures.
Oh, yeah. There are so many miniatures in this movie, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Bobby, is the DVD as a commentary, is there like a making of somewhere?
This was just stuff I found, like just reading about and like finding like whatever I could salvage off YouTube and throughout Wikipedia as well. But yeah, there was something on YouTube I found where it had a lot of the production stuff, and this guy was breaking down how all of this happens. Like, oh wow, oh those are all those did look like miniatures. That's cool. How that?
Yeah. But anyways, Robert. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, special effects wise, like the third part is really impressive.
That's where it gets really impressive. But yeah, Robert Hayes from Airplane fame. This is a couple years after he landed the plane in Airplane, taking a very serious turn in this movie. Totally in canon though.
He still quite hasn't gotten his drinking problem.
Yeah, he hasn't figured that one out yet. No,
He seemed pretty nervous walking around the ledge. It might have been his first time.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a... They do a good job with a little tension, the wind blowing around the corner, the sense that he really, lots of times, doesn't have stuff to grab onto. He reached that one area... Yeah, that fucking pigeon that pecks your foot till you bleed.
That winded rat.
Yeah, you back the fuck off, motherfucker. It's like, I want to stress, like, obviously this guy's sleeping around with this other guy's wife, so he's not the best dude. But man, they put you on his side fairly effectively. I mean, you are just like, God damn.
They really do.
He makes it into this like little safe spot where he can actually just relax for a moment. You know, it's not like the guy gave him a time limit or anything. He just is like, walk across this. No. So it's like, okay, take it easy. Then he starts shooting a fire hose and says, oh, no, you can only stay here for so long. It's like, wow. What a piece of shit.
You on your toes.
What a piece of shit. What I mean?
Yeah, it's just terrible.
It was like, I want your demise to be very painful as well as sudden.
He gets his.
He does.
Spoiler alert, pause.
Well, Robert Hayes does eventually make it around, and the rich guy does give him everything he asked for, including his wife's head in a bag.
Yep.
It's not the first time Stephen King's done that in the story.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, it might have been, but one of the Dark Tower Part 2 does this kind of a similar scenario.
Yeah. I haven't read Dark Tower 2 in a long time. I remember really liking that one, too. That was probably my favorite. That being said, I haven't read all of them, so maybe there's better ones later. But that's drawing up to 3, right?
Yes, the rich guy goes out on the ledge.
Mm-hmm. And then Robert Hayes gets a gun and forces the rich guy to do it, and he doesn't do as well.
He doesn't make it.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. Was it the woodpecker that gets him?
Yeah, it's the pigeon that primarily gets him, yeah. He's trying to go around the corner, the pigeon bang, 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 and he's out. Again, it's they do a good job with these short stories, like drawing you in. Sometimes that's what short stories are good at. Just very quick story. We're going to just throw you in this situation very quickly, and it works. So I don't think there's any other stories worth talking about. So I think we're going to go ahead and move on to Black Adam. No.
Wait,
is there another story? Is there another?
I don't know that the third part has an actual title. I just called it The Troll.
Segment. The General.
Oh, The General, yeah.
Might be.
Okay.
Well, throughout this movie,
I don't know.
We see the cat traveling to all these locations, and the cat's getting visions of Drew Barrymore saying, please help me, please help me. I'm not sure why the cat's getting the visions, but that's the driving force behind the cat. The cat eventually does find Drew Barrymore.
Well, I did find out that originally they wanted to have an opening sequence where the cat used to belong to a family, and a daughter who looked very similar to Drew Barrymore, whose daughter died because of that troll. So that was there. But the executive head said, like, no, that's stupid. Well, we don't want to spoon feed the people.
That would have been interesting.
I did not.
It would have given it way more context as to why that cat was like so determined.
Yeah, I didn't get the details, but I did read about how the director had this longer intro to explain the connection, and the executives cut it. Yeah. But anyways, the cat, who is now known as the General by Drew Barrymore, is just seems no protector from this troll who is living in her room, and of course her parents don't believe her. She has a parrot in her is it? No, it's not a parrot.
I think it's a cockatoo.
Cockatoo, yes.
It's
a bird in her room.
It's another variant of a winged rat.
Yeah. The parents say, the General comes over. The parents say the cat can't come inside at night. And then the next night, they're like, hey, we found fur in your room. What the hell? And she was like, I don't remember letting him in. Obviously, what's up? But, of course, the parents don't believe her. Parents. And then the next night, the bird gets eaten by this troll running around. And the parents assume the cat broke in and killed the bird. even though Drew Barrymore saw... I don't know if she saw the whole thing, but she saw enough to know that the cat was protecting her from this troll. And even the dad... yeah.
Well, the cat gets into a bit of a scuffle with the troll, and it throws a knife at it.
Yeah.
It causes the cat to bleed.
Yeah, quite a wound. And even the dad notices the wound and says, I don't think the bird did that. Like, the mom's saying the bird did it. And the dad's like, that doesn't look like the bird did that one at all. That's a pretty big wound for a
Did you
bird.
recognize the dad?
No, who was the dad?
No.
He's also the dad in Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You're right. Holy crap.
He is? Holy
I recognized
shit.
that immediately. Right when I saw him, because I always just think of, like, I guess my favorite line from him, that is like, I think we should shoot her.
No, wow. I know I did not notice that.
Yeah, I noticed it immediately. It's like, hey, he must have shot his old family. This is a new one.
The lady who played the mom did a good job of playing a bitch.
I know. She was
such
bad,
a bitch.
yeah. She catches the cat and takes it off to the pound, and fortunately the cat is dedicated. The cat is the hero of this whole goddamn story.
That cat was smart.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, just drop that bulb, see ya.
Yeah, that the troll figures out and really starts going after Drew Barrymore. What's the name of the character? I know they credit her as our girl, which is not helpful at all. But I don't remember the name of the character. Is it Samantha? Okay.
Yeah, Samantha.
Works for me. It's our girl, guys.
Our girl.
Our girl.
Talking about our girl.
Our girl.
Our girl.
But yeah, the cat breaks out and protects her from the troll. They have this little fight between the troll and the cat wins. The parents see the body of the troll, and Samantha gets to keep the cat.
Well,
the cat protects her.
It's interesting. Is that whole final sequence? It looks incredible.
Yes,
and that's mostly just because that they had a performer in the costume.
Yeah,
and just built everything up like I think 3/4 of a scale. So,
yeah,
like the Honey I Shrunk the Kids kind of treatment.
Yeah, they totally did that. Like segments of the room are obviously built large to have this guy running around in a troll costume.
Yeah,
it looks very good. They do a great job with it. This is like early stages of the stuff they would later use in Lord of the Rings franchise.
Yeah, and even in doing forced perspective, it was very cool.
And every time I watch it, I'm just like blown away by not just all the different elements that make up like the final battle scene in the room.
Yeah,
where it's like it's the regular set that Drew Barrymore is on, and then there's the upscaled set that the guy in the costume is on, and then there's the cat element where he's interacting with the troll, and it's very seamless. There's the only kind of shot that kind of screamed like 80s in terms of compositing was when he's on top of the blanket, and
yes.
Okay, so he's blue screened into the shot, but then you do a double take because they have another practical element where the hand pinches her nose, and I'm like, oh, that's clever. So
how they
question the shot. Yeah.
Well, with the shot of like the troll and the cat on top of her, those are like 3 separate composite shots all on one.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredible for the time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the troll itself, it was made by the same guy behind the character design of E.T.
Nice.
And the voice of the troll is the same voice as Slimer from the real Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I recognized it instantly. I was like, I know that voice.
But man, that whole sequence just like freaked me out as a kid. It was pretty terrifying, but as an adult,
I know that a lot of it, like the stuff that wasn't of him running around, like the close-ups, were performed by puppeteers, and like they had little wires on the outside of the face to control the facial.
Oh, like animatronics.
Yeah,
it had to have been Jim Henson or somebody from Jim Henson. It was too
probably
good
somebody from it. I think if it was actually Jim Henson, you won't have seen that prominently advertised. But it's certainly somebody from the Creature Shop.
It is someone who went to the Henson Muppet Shop, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah, but it's as an adult, it's almost things that you find scary as an adult or a kid, you kind of find a little more cute as an adult.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of find the troll kind of funny and cute at times.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
the feather's tickling her foot, and then she accidentally kicks him. He's like, and he falls into the. And then the cat comes down the chimney, and he looks at the cat, and he throws like a slight tantrum. He's like, "Oh shit, the cat again."
And I have to give credit to the movie because, like, they do that whole action scene between the cat and the troll, and I don't recall if there's any shots of them actually in the same shot. If so, there's very few. But I followed it fairly well.
The record player shot, maybe
a little bit there, yeah. But
no,
yeah,
I feel like there's a shot where the troll is holding the sword. And the cat's on the other side of the sword in a couple shots.
Maybe, yeah. Like I said, there's just not a whole lot of it. There's not.
Yeah, the record player shot was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
that one was.
Yeah,
and the return of every breath you take by not stinging, please.
At different RPMs.
Yeah. yes.
Yeah.
Played it very fast. You can't tell it's not the police.
Right over there into the fan.
Yeah. Yeah, and now what's left of them.
Yep. And that was the end of
the
this.
reason
Like
why
that the dad picked up the dagger. Out of everything there, he picked the dagger up. He's like, huh.
Yeah, I
He
think
looked at his wife, what did I tell you?
Yeah, look, is this a bird's beak, motherfucker?
I could have sworn that the dagger that the dad picks up had a straight blade, but the dagger that he used in the other scenes had a wavy blade.
It was a different one too.
I think it was too.
Yeah, you noticed that?
Well,
I was like, wait a minute.
Well, the first blade was thrown at the cat, so it's possible he didn't get that one back. So, but yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that segment is a good exercise in studying special effects because I'm still kind of blown away every time that I watch it.
Now, this is like if you are not familiar with computer animation, here's a time where they did computer animation or essentially did really good effects without computer animation, and this is the type of stuff you do practically in it. Looks largely good. Obviously, now with computers, you could get away with a lot of the lines and stuff for the superimposing and make that look better. But outside of doing that, that's the best thing to do to improve the look, because outside that, the look is very solid here.
The only other thing I would add about the movie is Alan Silvestri did the music.
Yeah.
And it was very close to Back to the Future. I think it came out the same year.
I didn't feel it was very close to Back to the Future. I felt like it was way more synth-heavy than Back to the Future, though.
I feel like some of the lead cues kind of had the Back to the Future feel to them a little bit.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you brought that up, because I actually found I like Alan Silvestri, but I actually found the score a little distracting at times. It was super keyboard-heavy score, and didn't quite work for me. And I usually dig the keyboard synth scores from the 80s, and this, I'm not even sure if this works as, its own thing, much less in the movie for me.
There were some suspenseful moments in the score that I thought were decent. I feel like your typical synth horror kind of eerie stuff.
Yeah.
But the action music felt more Back to the Future and not really horror movie.
Yeah, it's I would say it's a rare miss for Alan Silvestri, a guy who usually nails it. That being said, that's one of the few misses in the movie. Overall, this is definitely worth checking out. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I've never seen it until watching it last night, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed this too, and I had never seen it before either. I was mistaken. I thought I had. I realized midway. I was like, was I thinking of Firestarter? I was thinking.
Man,
of Firestarter.
You did that a couple weeks ago too.
Yeah,
You've seen Fright Night, right? Yeah, I've seen Fright Night. Oh, I thought you meant Demon Night.
No, I thought you said Demon Night. Yeah, that's just with horror. I think I've just seen so many that they just kind of start bleeding together after a while.
Yeah.
Especially when you dive into the B horror and the grindhouse trash cinema.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've seen one. I can't. For the life of me, I will swear that it's I Eat Your Flesh. and I describe the plot and look it up, and I see like no such movie exists. And I go, no, I have seen this movie. I know I have. I remember it because I was like, wow, this came out right after the Manson murders.
So anything you want to add, George? I think we're ready to move on to Black Adam, and unless you want to add anything.
No, don't think so.
Okay.
So I'll probably hop off, because I'm going to try to avoid spoilers for both Black Adam and House of the Dragon. So.
Okay.
All right.
Just leave us. We don't care. We don't care, man. You just go. We're fine.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed the movie.
Yeah,
so,
just leave. We don't care.
We'll just leave.
We don't care.
Yep, that's how it goes. All right. Hey guys.
Later, George.
All right.
Are you ready for Black Adam?
Yeah, let's get into it, because I got a lot to say.
Black Adam is a movie that was made, and it was released, and it exists.
Yeah.
I
didn't hate this.
I don't hate it, but I don't particularly like it either.
Yeah, I didn't really care.
No, okay. This is not like the worst movie ever. I just there's totally like decent stuff in it. But here's the thing, like I would say nothing in it is particularly bad. But also nothing in it is particularly good.
No.
It's there's a couple moments where I'm like, okay, cool. Pierce Brosnan's cool. I enjoyed the kid that did Atom Smasher. Actually, the whole Justice Society I thought was fun.
They did have some very nice points to it. I personally, I got this. This is what I got from my viewing. Hawkman, or Falcon, as he was saying and acting a lot like Anthony Mackie's character.
Yeah,
like with his quips and like that. And I'm thinking, now I'm not too familiar with the character, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't talk like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he doesn't either. That being said, I liked his performance. I thought he did a solid job.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And he definitely made him more of appealing, because the only relevance to the character that I'm familiar with is the old animated series. And if I recall, he was just very dense and just alien, outer worldly. So,
well, that's
I guess, like things like sarcasm and stuff are very human nature. They don't pass off that well on him. They just kind of go over his head, kind of like Thor.
Well, the thing with Hawkman is he's never a character that's interested me. He's a character I'm familiar with. I've seen him in a lot of stuff. I've read him in a lot of stuff. I know he exists, but I don't really care. And here I kind of cared. I thought he was fun here.
I liked him, and I definitely I wanted to know like more about the Justice Society.
Yeah, I know. It's like we get just enough Justice Society to want more, but we also get just enough Black Adam to want more. Because that's the other thing. Black Adam totally has this arc here where he starts out kind of villain-ish. Not full-fledged villain, but villain-ish.
Kind of just on that line. And I kind of liked that aspect.
Yeah, and then they kind of turn him into a hero. And it's not terribly done, but it's not brilliant either.
No.
There's
I will say
better movies that do this thing.
Yeah, there is I could think of one example that I think did this far better.
Matt, which one are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of? Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Because I got T2 vibes so much from this. I was half waiting for the kid to teach him how to smile.
Yeah, and like I said, I have mixed feelings. I almost feel like what we have is a decent, somewhat entertaining Justice Society movie and a decent, somewhat entertaining Black Adam movie mashed together and cut down to make 2 hours, and you end up not really satisfying either of them.
And overall, just an okay DC movie.
Yeah.
It's not bad, just okay.
I'm
kind of more of the opinion. Now, I only stayed for, the bit, I guess, the post-credit. Was there an end credit?
No, there was a mid-credit, but no post-credit. We stayed for the whole thing.
It showed after the stylized credits that just shows the key players in production and title.
So, spoiler, that was heavily promoted in the promotional campaign, so not really spoiler. The last shot in this
really
movie...
didn't try to hide it.
Yeah, the last shot in this movie, that once you see it, it's over, is Henry Cavill as Superman.
Yeah.
If you've seen Henry Cavill as Superman, you've seen the last shot of the movie.
Yeah, I'll admit, I was like, well, fucking A.
Yeah, no,
okay.
Here's the deal.
Right.
I love that they brought him back because I think Henry Cavill's a solid Superman. They haven't given him good stuff to work with, but I think he could do a really good Superman. I really do. And
I believe it too. And there was aspects where a good Superman or the potential of a great Superman I felt was coming out in Man of Steel. Now that movie does get a lot of hate, but I feel it's very misunderstood.
Yeah, I
really enjoy it. I compare it to my love of like the other Superman movies of like 1 and 2.
Yeah. I have very mixed feelings about Man of Steel and that. Like, I will plug it in and enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I feel like it kind of misses a lot of the points sometimes. And it gets really close to making points. And then it just doesn't do it. And it's like, ugh.
It does. It's not perfect by any means.
No.
It has its flaws. I feel that with this, they wanted to tell a different story than what we're used to of seeing Superman on film. And I feel that this is one of the first DC movies that has really kind of echoed that sentiment of the original mindset of Man of Steel. Now, am I by any means say that MC or like the DCU is truly started with Man of Steel? No. I know that Snyder wanted just to get away from the bright blue suit Christopher Reeve imagination, and he wanted just to kind of base one a bit more in reality.
Yeah.
The stuff I don't like about Man of Steel is actually I feel like we could have condensed Krypton a lot more.
Yeah, well, I like a lot of the Krypton stuff, but yeah, it needs condensed. The final fight needs condensed too, because I like a lot of it, but just keeps on going on and on.
And he still should have killed Zod.
My issue of killing Zod.
That choice.
I have an issue of killing Zod, but it's not that he does it. My question is, we should have explored that more. I actually like that because I don't know what other option there is that moment.
I agree with you 100% on that. We should have gone into that more.
And maybe they could do that with Man of Steel too. And now that he's been in this movie, there's a greater chance of this. Now I want to talk to some of the fans who are pissed at this movie because Henry Cavill is not wearing the black suit. I just want to tell those fans, come on, guys. You're not going to get it. Zack Snyder's Justice League is not canon to DCEU. I know you want it to be, but it's not. It's better than the other Justice League, I know.
Yeah,
but
is. Even in black
that one is canon.
I like the black and white version, which was the only one I watched because when we had to cover it for the show, I told you I watched the black and white, and you're like, oh, you know that there's the color version, right? No, I'm not rewatching it.
Yeah, no, it's a chore. That's the thing. That movie is better, but man, they need to cut it. There is so much that needs cut from that movie.
That could have been a part 1, part 2 easily.
Yeah, but
like I love westerns. I won't even sit through a long western that long.
Nah. But bring it back around to Black Adam. One thing I wasn't sure if they would do, but they did, and I'm grateful for it, is that they borrowed heavily from Shazam lore, which is exactly what you need to do for Black Adam's story. And yeah, they did it very hard. Like, they have a little Easter egg about Black Adam in the first Shazam movie where they talk about they gave it to somebody who was the power to someone who was unworthy and the results were disastrous. And that's who Black Adam is. That's
I kind of thought that he might have would show up at some point.
Yeah. Like, but we get Henry Cavill instead, and Shazam's definitely getting a sequel, so I get it.
Yeah. So does this mean we're actually going to see, like, Shazam and Superman in the same frame?
That would be nice. And that's the thing. I think just earlier, like, Henry Cavill made an announcement, and it was on Variety, I believe, so it's fairly reliable. He made an announcement saying that he is absolutely back as Superman, so I'm assuming he's re-signed a contract.
Warner must have given him a fat offer.
Yeah, because he's gone through a lot of shit over this role. And I love him in the role, but, like, these fans get a bit much.
Yeah. I mean, he himself... Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well,
I'm happy that he's back.
Yeah, absolutely. I would like a Man of Steel too, and I am fine if Zack Snyder doesn't direct it. I know lots of people are not. I am fine getting someone besides Zack Snyder to direct it. There's lots of very talented people who could handle it.
You know who I would love to see direct?
Who?
Tim Burton.
Have you seen The Death of Superman Lives?
Yes.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings about that. Like, he had cool ideas, but the story wasn't there. And that's kind of what threw down that movie, I felt.
Don't let him have control of the story. Just let his style.
Yeah.
Let him direct.
I'm not entirely against it, but it won't be my first choice. I
don't think Tim would ever do it, though. I don't.
No. Well, especially after Superman Lives, I don't see him coming back to it.
Yeah. Well, no. And I think that's more of a Joel Silver.
Yeah.
You've heard Kevin Smith's story about Superman.
Remind me.
Joel Silver, like the executive producer behind the Donner and the original Superman. At some point after Mallrats, before Dogma, I guess, he had gotten a hold of Kevin Smith, and this was after Chasing Amy. I'm sorry. Like, because of all the comic lore and everything, he thought, hey, he must know a lot about comics, and it was mostly just because of the conversation about that Brody had with Stan Lee about Ben and what was under his trunks if he can't afford to rock. Just because of that, he figured that Kevin Smith knows his fucking comics.
Mm-hmm.
So he brought him in, and he's like, I want you to write a Superman movie for him. And he's like, fucking all right. Like, like, and is that things that me and my friends have been doing for years?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. He's like, but a few notes. It's like, okay. What are your notes? And he's got his pen pad ready. And I think he can't fly.
Yeah, Kevin Smith's like,
the
the fuck?
The cape. Fuck? Yeah, the red and blue cape suit. Yeah, no, he thinks it looks stupid. Get rid of it. Oh yeah, and he has to fight a giant metal spider at some point.
Yeah, and I do remember that story now, and I remember Kevin Smith just being like, man, like his heart's just fucking sinking. Just fuck.
Is this fucking serious?
Yeah. That's the shit we love. Okay, giant metal spider, weird, but we could probably figure that out. The rest, fuck.
Yeah, we could. Okay, there's like giant metal spider. I could work that in with Lex Luger. Like easily.
It's not
easily.
Tricky, sure.
But
the other stuff's like, fuck. I want that stuff.
Go back here. He can't fly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Stupid. Yeah.
It's unrealistic. It's Superman.
Okay. And the suit.
Yeah.
Anyways, he ended up hating it and no, he just moved on to something else or passed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, later on about that next summer, a movie came out about some cowboys fighting a giant metal spider in the desert.
Yeah.
And it's like, and if you look at who one of the executive producers are of that movie. Oh, I always think of that with Kevin Smith and Superman.
Fun fact, Wild Wild West is awful.
That movie is
bad.
Oh.
But you notice we're talking a lot about the Superman's potential, and that's because Black Adam, I don't have a whole lot to say about Black Adam. I really don't.
Well, okay. There's some aspects of it that I like. I did like the introduction to comedy a little bit more natural in this. Now, I felt it hit a lot of the same comedic beats, just like Shazam, but I felt that came more naturally because they were just kids. And, kids absolutely could talk like that. I mean, that's how me and my friends talked at that age.
Yeah. And
a lot of those beats, but also the uncle in there, I felt he was a pretty good comedic relief throughout the whole
definitely
thing. The antagonist, that dude looks shit.
Yeah, the antagonist never I'm not gonna lie, until you brought him up again, I forgot completely who the antagonist was. Well, it was that weird wormy guy that turned into a demon.
Well, I think it's funny because when we see him, when all the shit first starts to go down, we see him walking, and like all of them walk in, and he's last, and he kind of does like that same look. And I went, all the Indiana Jones movie, the 3 Indiana Jones movies I've watched tells me that this guy is up to no good.
Exactly.
Like, no. You're doing it early in the film? Yeah, nope. Nope. I think he pushed their teammate.
Oh, for sure.
I think he totally did.
Yeah.
And he was going to kill her, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
That's the thing, I mean,
like, and I felt that the story that was going on within, like, the world where it was taking place, I really feel there was so much of it left out that just kind of like I'm actually kind of want to know more about that world.
Well, that's the thing. Like so many of the Shazam references kind of left me just wanting to watch Shazam again. Of course, we'll get to that fairly soon. The other thing to bring up is like I said, I feel like these are 2 decent movies kind of meshed together to their own deficit. Yeah, like I think you could do a movie by itself with just Black Adam. And you could definitely do a movie by itself with just Justice Society. You could do these separately. Like, Black Adam, like, except for some action scenes, you don't really need the Justice Society in there to rein in Black Adam. Black Adam's not, like, hardcore supervillain at the end of this. He's essentially anti-villain at the end of this. And he has to learn how, like, don't kill, like, everybody. Because it's already established at the beginning. He's not just going to kill innocent people. He might be a bit careless, but like if he sees an innocent person, he's not going to let him die.
Yeah. If he sees an innocent person in peril, he's not going to let them die. He's going to save them.
So like I feel like there's enough of a story there for its own movie, but instead we have Justice Society, and the Justice Society is good. But it feels very tacked on, and we get some action scenes between them, and it's fine, but it feels unnecessary, and honestly, I'd like to see 2 separate movies. I think be better.
Yeah, I did enjoy Adam Smasher out of the group.
Yeah, I mean, and Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate was great. I loved him.
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. Pierce rarely turns in a bad performance.
No, he knows his shit. Yeah,
he was great in this. But I knew he was gonna die. I was like,
oh yeah. Yeah, he is not a young man, and he's talking about somebody's gonna die, and I'm like, it's gonna be him, isn't it? This is so like telecast at this point.
Yeah. And what's your power again? Oh.
Yeah.
All right, you better go out like a boss.
Yeah, he did all right. Yeah, he knew.
He did. I wasn't like disappointed by it. I mean, I did kind of like the death fake out of the antagonist, and then he came back to that supernatural being. That's kind of when we got into what I think is more of DCU's like more comfortable heavy. CGI.
Yeah, the heavy CGI villain to fight for the hero to fight.
Yeah,
never seen that one before. Never.
Justice League.
Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, 2017.
And 1984 as well.
Well, I guess if you count Cheetah, which I don't
Kristen
know.
Bell, yeah. CGI Kristen Bell, yeah.
Not Kristen Bell. Kristen
Bell, yeah.
Fuck, the one from Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, that's Bell.
Kristen Wiig. Yeah, Kristen Bell's from like a Good Place.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, this isn't like if you're really excited for a new movie in the DCEU, go ahead and check this out. Everyone else, I don't know, like you get Superman back for a couple seconds. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's cool.
You get a couple cool characters. It's fine.
You get a few nice callbacks to other DC movies that kind of tie them all in. You get to see Waller.
Yeah, Waller's in there. I didn't realize Waller would be in there, and she's got a couple scenes.
She's got a bit.
Harcourt had a little cameo as well, which was kind of fun to see her in there. But yeah, this is 2 decent movies meshed together to a mad movie. I don't like if you're looking for me to hate it or love it, you're missing out because I don't have strong feelings. It was fine.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, just
like the
nothing
biggest thing
exciting
to
to
take
say.
away from biggest thing to take away from it is Henry Cavill's cameo and
Yes. 2-second cameo is probably going to get more buzz than and be talked about more than anything else in the movie. Maybe Pierce Brosnan, but yeah. I think even that will get silenced, and it's just going to be Henry Cavill as Superman. Will be the biggest takeaway.
They really did make use of that song. I even forget what song they used, but it was the one that the uncle kept singing.
Yeah, I forget too, but yeah, they go back to that well quite a bit.
It was a funny well, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there were parts I was laughing when I shouldn't have been laughing in the theater.
Yeah,
like there was some that was part of it that was laughably bad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, this one was not their best turn, but I didn't hate.
Not their worst. Not their worst at all by a long shot. It's just it's fine. It wasn't
Aquaman.
Yeah. Are we ready for House of the Dragon?
Yeah, let's get into House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon. Last 4 episodes.
I did manage to get all 4.
Oh yeah, you didn't text me, so I kind of assumed everything was fine.
Yeah, my DVR caught up. I rewatched 8. And then I caught the late night showings of 9 or reruns or West Coast late night showings of 9 and 10.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think I watched 10 twice, but I do remember the events of 9.
Well, 10 is probably the most important one, but yeah. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Was it episode 7 where she marries Damon? Or was it... Oh. Yeah, I'm trying to remember the exact timeline, because I've been watching these as these come out. And during this, I know she marries Damon, which is a relationship I'm not thrilled with at all.
Well, it's a power move.
Yes. Oh, well, it's very much a power move, especially on Damon's part. Damon.
Only to strengthen their claim to the throne.
Yeah, which I don't think Otto gives a shit. I don't think...
No, and I mean, I don't remember the scene of him coming back, because when I saw him, I was like, the fuck is he doing here?
Yeah.
I thought his ass was fucking exiled.
He was kicked out, then the other hand died, then he's just back, and I was kind of like, wait, you just brought him back? Why? Why would you bring his ass back? Pick another hand. Is there only 2 people who could possibly be hand in the entire kingdom?
Man.
The fuck? No.
No. You give me that. No.
Yeah, it was definitely one of his worst calls. And Viserys, as we all know, survives for the whole season because he can't die.
Yeah, he can. I mean,
yeah, he does finally die, like 5 episodes after I thought he was going to, but yes.
Yeah, I thought he looked old and disheveled in the last episode.
Yeah.
Oh, they upped that ante.
No, he was looking rough in episode 5 where he passed out at the end, and it's like, nope. He's just going to look worse and worse for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But,
yeah.
Yeah, Viserys really tries in the last episode before he dies to kind of bring his family together. Of course, it all just goes to hell.
Yeah, he's obviously very upset that, there's so much infighting.
Mm-hmm.
So much, and he just wants them to rule as a dynasty and
just
allow it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And anyways, he named his daughter his heir.
Yep. And he's doubled down on it quite a bit to his credit and tried to reinforce that claim.
Even when they were at odds with each other.
Yes.
She is still my heir.
Yeah. And there's been lots of push from Otto to, like, maybe it should be Aegon, your eldest son. Even after Otto was the one that pushed for Rhaenyra to be the heir because he was afraid it'd be fucking Daemon. And after he's done that, it's like, oh no, wait, can I do take backsies? It's like, fuck no, Otto. Fuck off.
Get the fuck out of here, Otto.
Yeah. No, Otto was never a character that thrilled me, but in the first episode, I was like, he seems a lot better than Daemon. And okay, so Daemon's kind of like a wild card, but Otto is just such a piece of shit by the end of this season.
Yeah, Daemon's definitely the wild card. But
yeah.
I mean,
I don't like him, but like compared to Otto, I like him way better than Otto.
I want to say that Daemon's decisions are a little more calculated, and like he's aware of every step he's taking. to an extent.
I feel Otto might be more calculating, but like, yeah, Damon.
Is, but
Damon's calculating too, for sure. I'm not.
They both have the same drive. Their own, their own.
They're both pushing their angle towards the Iron Throne. Now, I think what's interesting is after Viserys dies, we have a whole episode where it's just Otto essentially usurping Rhaenyra because Rhaenyra isn't there. She's at Dragonstone, the Targaryen house home. And he is at King's Landing, and he is just pushing Aegon to be king as fast as possible before Rhaenyra even knows her father's dead. He's locking up and probably killing most of her allies in the house. I guess we don't see what happens to the Graham McTavish character. He kind of walks away after all of this, and I assumed he was going to ally himself for Rhaenyra. Maybe he just walks away.
I think he might later on down the road, because the way that he left really reminded me of how Sir Barristan left in, A Song of Ice and Fire. Yeah,
definitely. I would be shocked they had Graham McTavish in here and weren't going to use him again. I would think they'd at least give him a big old death if they were going to finish him off. But yes, the king dies. We have a whole episode with Otto usurping the king. Alicent believes that the king's dying wish was that Aegon be king because she doesn't know the Song of Ice and Fire. And then in episode 10, we find out that even Daemon doesn't know the Song of Ice and Fire. It just seems like something that Viserys shared with Rhaenyra, which is an interesting thing. Yeah. Obviously, they were very close, and that's probably why he kind of decided to be ride or die with her being the heir, because he just, he thought the world of her, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because it's the last living remembrance he has of his first wife.
Yes, there's that too. Love. Yeah.
And I think that's why he can never truly be angry or anything vengeful towards her.
And I think it's worth noting. So we get a whole episode of Otto scheming and, getting things set up. Rhaenyra finds out that her father dies. She gets this offer from Otto, and she's not prepared to go to war. She is still looking for the best possible outcome here. What is the most peaceful outcome here? Because she still wants the throne, but she doesn't she's not looking to kill people. And it's like when I'm seeing this, I'm like, oh God, she needs to be the king, the queen, king, whatever she wants to call herself. She's the one that should be. Yeah.
She needs to rule.
Yeah. The ruler needs to be concerned about stuff like this, not concerned about who has power. Now, obviously, Daemon is taking the other angle with it, and he's 100% ready to go to war. And yeah, there's a little power struggle even in their marriage between the two of them, which is an interesting dynamic. Like I said, I did not like their relationship at all. Well, the fact that when she was so young and he took her to that sex house and, kind of seemed like he was going to go at it with her, but then to his credit didn't, but still he took her there. Sleazy move. Yeah, I don't like their relationship at all. I don't
blame you.
Yeah, it
is a little cringy because that's her uncle.
Well, there's that whole angle too. I try not to let the incest get to me in these stories because incest is a part of especially life back then. Lots of marriage between houses. Yes, incest is going to be a thing.
It happens.
It's still cringy looking at it from today's perspective. It
absolutely is, and I'm not condoning it by any means.
No.
It's vile and gross.
Yeah.
But I think it's more so, it did kind of bother me a little bit when she said, ever since that night at the brothel, you awakened something. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I guess at the point when they did get married, they both had their own marriages, ones that they were forced into, and they weren't ones that made them happy. By any means.
Well,
maybe in a way it's them going after what their their actual lustful desires are, their true wants and needs, as opposed to the needs of the family
Well, actually, allow me to rewind a bit because I want to talk about a bit. I want to say her first marriage, Rhaenyra and Lenore was his name.
Yeah, I believe, yes.
The eldest son of Lord Corlys. What is the family name? Is it Viserys? Something like that.
No, like Viserys' sister married to the High Valyrian.
That's right. Viserys is the king. Who? What's the family name for the Lord Corlys? And it's a famous family name. I'm brain farting on it. Okay, I still have battery on my phone. I'm gonna look it up real fast.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Breaking. I shouldn't laugh. That's terrible. Hold on. That's loading up. Marco Rubio. I think he might have gotten assaulted.
Oh,
Marco
shit.
Rubio, canvasser and a notorious white supremacist, was beaten in a Miami area. Rubio tweeted that 4 animals beat a man who was campaigning for him simply because he's Republican. That doesn't appear to be what actually happened. Ooh, if you follow me predominantly on Twitter, you'll see that he was beaten this morning, I guess. The tweet he claims.
Well, that might be something to bring up next week in the news.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to...
The house name I'm trying to think of is Valerian. It is Valerian.
It is
to all the
Valerian,
people listening,
okay.
yes, it is Valerian.
Yes,
so
we'll chop out Rubio.
who he primarily he controls the seas, and Rhaenyra marries their eldest son. To get out of that marriage, they kill him. But I think it's worth pointing out that I actually missed what really happened the first time watching it, and my parents missed it completely. He's not dead. He runs off with his boyfriend. They make it look like he dies, and his parents think he's dead. Everybody thinks he's dead, except for essentially Daemon and Rhaenyra. And obviously he knows he's not dead.
I went back and rewatched it.
Yeah.
Because I think it was when I couldn't get episode 7 on my on demand.
Mm-hmm.
And HBO Max was giving me issues. But, so I watched 8.
Mm-hmm.
And I see a scene of her talking to his parents going, I did not make the order on your son. Or anything. I'm like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
So then I finally watched 7. I did see that part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I watched it a little out of order. But I mean, I think for this show, it really, I guess it did matter in that case.
Oh, yeah. And in this show, it can matter quite a bit, depending where you're at.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They were jumping around. I figured it was all right.
Yeah, no, there's a bit of jumping around. So, there could be times, you don't know when it's going to matter and when it's not.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. We get one house that clearly is just looking for power, and one house is looking for the best solution. I wonder who should have power. Who should?
Well, I think we're also glossing over the fact that there were a few major character deaths, not any in 10. I'm talking about one that happened in High Court. And they were trying to determine the rightful of passage for the throne, where the Valerian
yes.
was arguing, and
Corlys' younger brother, yes.
Yeah, he had called Rhaenyra a slut and a whore,
yeah,
I believe.
Her children bastards.
Yeah, and Daemon sliced his head in half.
And that's the thing. So, Corlys and his wife know the children are bastards. They have dark hair. There's no skirting around it. That being said, as far as I can tell, they've raised them like their own grandchildren. And Corlys has even said, at the end of the day, essentially their family, they have our name. We're, blood is blood, whatever. It's the family name that matters. It's our legacy.
Yeah.
And there is a logic to that. And I personally feel like if you're going to raise them like they're your grandchildren, then they're your grandchildren.
Yeah.
I think that seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like his younger brother had different thoughts, and that did not go well for him.
No.
And
it did not.
Yeah, and the Valerians, even, knowing that the kids are bastards, they do align with Rhaenyra in this, which is, good on them. And that his wife even brings up, like, one of the first things he brings up in defending Rhaenyra is, essentially her 3 children is it 3 or is it 2? But the children they've raised as grandchildren.
Yeah.
Obviously she is concerned about them, and that tells you a lot of where their heart is.
Yeah.
Now, of course, that brings us to pretty much the end of the season. So the 2 eldest children take dragons to go talk to the Lords of Stark and Baratheon. And they think it'll be fairly easy trips, we're taking, the sons are taking dragons. They'll have some force behind them because they're fucking dragons. But, they'll be treated well. And she even makes a big deal of the younger son's going to visit Lord Baratheon. And it's like, he'll treat you very well. And I'm like, I know these are different lords than we get later, but, like, I would feel way more comfortable sending the kid to Stark than to Baratheon. Baratheon's more likely to be a handful, but she seemed to think Baratheon would be safer.
Well, yes. Also, but, there are... I think why she said that is because the Lord, I believe, who was sitting there was a child when she was named heir. So he also swore fealty or loyalty to her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's somebody who remembers that vow, somebody who will honor it. Which is why she did that. I might have had to binge today.
Yeah.
There was a lot that wasn't making sense to me. So.
No. Well, yeah. Well, he essentially says, it was a vow made by my father. And I'm not, I don't see why I need to honor it.
Or it might have been him or the Stark. I can't remember. But one of those.
But yeah, the kid makes the House Baratheon, and he sees a much bigger dragon is already there. And it's Aemon's dragon. We haven't really brought up Aemon. Aemon is the younger brother of Alicent and Viserys. He's a bit of a fucking psycho. He was bullied, so... Like, there's a degree of sympathy for him, but, like, the stuff he's done since then has been pretty fucked up. Yeah, so he is already at Baratheon. He's made them a huge offer, because obviously he doesn't have their word, so he's made them an offer to become to recognize Aegon's claim instead of Rhaenyra's. And he's like, well, they made us an offer. You just come here saying honor your claim, but it was a claim my father made, so I don't see why I have to honor it. They have an offer. I think I should take the offer. But, like, I don't remember the first name of the Lord Baratheon. He doesn't seem like the best lord, but even he, when he sees Aemon is tormenting the kid, he starts going, dude, back off. We aren't doing this here.
Yeah, you're not doing this in my hall, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, so the kid leaves on his dragon, and Aemon follows him and starts tormenting him on his much bigger dragon. And it seems like the dragons start getting really pissy with each other, and the smaller one blasts fire at the big one's face. So the big one just eats the small one.
Son included.
More or less, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we see is it's unknown how much the mom will know, but all the mom actually knows is that the son went to Lord Baratheon, Aemon went to Lord Baratheon, and the son didn't return. So we just know she is pissed. Yes, she is.
Yeah.
So and that leaves off the season. So we with everything that happened with Viserys and them trying to usurp the throne, we saw that she was still looking for the peaceful option, and then now her son is dead. This is not a good way to go out.
No, it's not.
She is probably ready. She's probably ready to cut off some fucking heads at this point. Yeah, this is good. I'm really enjoying this. I really like how, it was kind of a slow burn. You kind of like, but aren't really thrilled with a lot of the characters, and some of them you kind of dislike, and your opinion changes throughout the season of some of these characters. I hated Daemon a lot more than I did at the beginning than I did at the end. I'm still don't like him, but I don't hate him as much.
Yeah.
That being said... you definitely have some good guys and bad guys, with Rhaenyra definitely being more or less a good guy, and like Aemond is bad news. Otto is bad news. Yeah, and I think Alicent is bad news, but she's also kind of lying to herself. She's like, oh, this is his final wish, and it's like, you know it wasn't. You almost certainly know you misunderstood. Like, even if you didn't misunderstand, it was like he was dying at that moment. You know, how much, a grain of salt at best of what he's saying. You can't treat that like, oh, that's definitely what he wanted. He spent his whole life for this one thing, and then his dying wish, he says something completely different. Which do you think you should put more stock in? Come on.
All I gotta say is I can't believe I'm actually saying this. Where's Pycelle?
Yeah.
We need him. He would have been on that. No.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Well, I'm excited about this because I think by next year or whenever the next season comes out, I believe we're gonna be getting to the point where we might start hearing some names that we might start recognizing.
Possibly. I don't know how many we're gonna get, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a good show.
Are we gonna see a little baby like, Aemon Targaryen, from the Wall?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
That's
God.
what I'm waiting for, man. That's what
I don't think he's that old. I don't think he's...
I don't know. He was pretty ancient when like we ran across him in that.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is a good first season. I'm definitely want to see where it goes next. Well done.
Yeah, bravo HBO.
Yeah. Any final thoughts for the final episode here, or the final, or the first season? Okay.
No, not yet. I just know that we have some waiting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's probably gonna be about a year. It's like shit. Now we have to wait.
Ooh. We'll get to it in the roundup.
Oh, okay. I need to fix this one now.
In fact, I can cue it up.
Okay, that'll work. All right, so next week we have Andor episodes 5 through 8. We're gonna watch the first Black Panther and the first Rocky. Does that sound good?
That sounds excellent. I've been waiting for us to cover Rocky.
Yeah, I know. I had the whole thing on there, and then it really got cut down, which I assumed it would be. But it's like, some of it makes it. We'll see. And pretty much all that made it was the Creed movies and the first Rocky. But, the first Rocky's awesome. It'll be fun to rewatch that one.
Yeah, it will be.
What was it you wanted to bring up?
Today, the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania trailer.
Oh, yes.
dropped.
I did see that earlier. You get ever so little bit of Kang.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be the real... Like, you saw the character in Loki, but it's a different variant of the character that's gonna be Kang, and we're gonna see the Kang variant in Quantumania, which should be interesting. Kind of seems like a thing where they're gonna be, like, almost like Lost in the Land of Oz type deal, except, quantum.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm gathering.
It could be fun. It could be fun, yeah.
It could be. It could be fun. It comes out next year, so...
Yeah, it comes out, 4 months, essentially. Less than 4 months, actually.
February, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we get Black Panther even sooner than that. I'm much more excited for Black Panther. I think Black Panther.
Yeah, when... I already got my tickets for that. Yeah. When is Planes, Trains, Automobiles on the schedule?
Oh, we did. We covered that last year.
We did. Yeah. Never mind. I guess then I saw on Fathom Events that they're having it in the theater on November 6th and 7th. Mm-hmm. So I think the wife and I are going to go.
Well, that is a classic, yeah.
To go see that in the theater?
Yeah, I've never seen it in the theater. If I did, I was too young to remember.
Yeah, I still just think, I've seen it, but still, it'll be hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. But,
that's right, we did watch it last year.
Yeah. Is there another Thanksgiving one you want to think of?
The Last Waltz, we could just watch the musical documentary, since it happened on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And just, it could be your introduction to the band, and we could just talk about the band for that episode.
I don't know. Maybe. We will see. But Yeah, I can't think of anything else to add. Should we just say goodbye?
Yeah.
What?
I think so.
I don't.
Maybe.
I guess. Okay. Well, we'll give this a shot.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.